Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Saturday, May 18th, and we are here trying to help you make better financial decisions. If you would like to run a scenario by us, if you're considering a big change, if you're thinking about upsizing, downsizing, trying to figure out what your next chapter looks like, then why don't you go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and let us know if you would be willing to come on the air live. Just check that little box and Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. Comes out every Friday, and you should definitely check out the subscription service. It's called Jill on Money Live. That is where you have access to quarterly live webinars and lots of cool bonus video content. You know what kind of cool content I'm talking about? I'm talking about there was this huge, big thing in the New York Times about retirement. The expert that they highlighted, who was it? It was our guest on Jill on Money Live, Teresa Ghilarducci, and we had it before the Times had her. So how about that? Go to jillonmoney.com, click the link for Jill on Money Live, and for $35, you'll get Teresa. You'll get a great video chat with journalist Charles Duhigg, who's talking about super communicators, and you'll get those 4 webinars that are coming up in the next 12 months. So $35, Jill on Money Live. Check it out. Okay, today, let's talk to John, who's on the line from New Jersey.
So I took a retirement plan a few months ago, and I just want to make sure my numbers were correct, even though it's kind of too late already.
Well, too late to cancel, as we used to say on the floor of the exchange. But okay, yeah. So John, how old are you?
I'm 57. My wife is 57 as well.
Okay. So you took an early retirement. What did that mean? Like, what were you earning back then?
Like 170K.
Okay. And what did they offer you to get out?
Probably about 100.
And is there a pension involved in this job?
I do have a pension. Starts whenever I want, but pretty going to turn it on at about 60 years old.
Okay. And how much will that be, John?
$24.98.
I'm going to call it $2,500. Do you mind?
Okay.
All
yeah.
right.
And it goes up like $50 every year I wait.
Oh, you got.
65.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So, and you're going to probably do that. You said it's 60?
Yep.
Okay. Is your wife still working?
Yes, she is.
Okay. And how much does she earn?
85 plus a bonus.
Okay. How much is the bonus usually?
Around 35.
How much you guys think you need to live on?
We live on about 10,000 a month, 9,000 a month, something around here.
See, this is one of those things where Mark and I were just talking about this, that in certain parts of the country, it seems probably crazy to think $10,000 a month, a lot of money, but you live in a high cost area, you live in a high cost state with a big tax implication. Tell us about your living situation. How much is your house worth?
$650,000.
Any mortgage remaining?
About 4 or 5 months left.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. How's that feel?
Awesome.
That's good. So let's go through your current savings. So we know that you need $10,000 a month. We know that of that, you'll have $2,500 a month from your pension. Oh, what will your Social Security benefit be?
$37.60.
Okay. And what about your wife?
At 62, she'll probably take hers. It's about $1,000 a month. Mm-hmm. And then when I turn mine on, she'll get half of mine.
Okay. I got it. So it seems to me that you got a good chunk of the way there between Social Security and pension. Was that part of the way that you figured it?
Yes, it was.
Okay. All right. That seems reasonable. It's not like that's not a bad choice. So let's say that the pre-tax, at least between the pension and the Social Security, is probably about $7,000 a month pre-tax that you have coming in. Now, let's talk about the savings part. What have you guys accumulated in addition to that paid for house very soon to be paid for house?
Okay. 401 is $2.1 million. Mm-hmm. Roth 401k about 100. I got a brokerage account where it's 65, and I got some cash, 132.
Okay. You got some kids?
I have 3. One is gone. One is about to leave, and one is in higher education.
I don't know how to read that. You mean that person is working in higher education, or that is somebody who's in grad school?
She's in grad school.
Okay. And will she pay for herself? Like, tell me, like, what do you think
that's the plan, is that she's paying for herself.
Okay.
But mom and dad are helping her a little bit here and there.
Okay. when you think about it going forward, though, anyone else that's relying on you for income, parents?
We have a parent that lives with us, but just the basic needs.
All right. So when you gave me the 10 grand a month for expenses, you were including a little kid stuff, a little parent stuff, a little this, a little that, right?
Yes.
All right, that sounds good. So what about you? Are you doing anything? You're 57 years old. We're about the same age. Are you really retired, or are you doing some part-time stuff?
No.
Are you doing anything else?
I have a couple of part-time gigs.
Really?
Stuff that I enjoy to do. Yeah.
Like what? Tell us something fun that I can look forward to.
I'm a referee.
I used to do that when I was in high school. Those parents are nuts.
I'm a pretty big guy. They don't bother me.
Okay. How much do you make from being a referee?
Probably 10 to 15, depending on how much I want to work.
Okay. And what about the other job?
Transportation, I'm kind of just getting involved in that. So I think I'll make about 12.
Okay. So it's fair to say that about 20 grand a year right now, right?
Yeah.
How much longer do you think your wife's going to work?
I hope till 65, but she wants to get out at 60.
Oh, look at you, you big shot. Oh, you get to retire when you're 57, but she's got to retire when she's 65.
60 is the plan.
All right, 60 is a plan. How about healthcare? What are you going to get for that?
The wife and daughter, my wife takes care of in her health plan. And I was lucky enough to get a plan through work. I was able to keep my medical. It cost me $450 a month.
Oh, my God, that's sweet. So what happens when your wife is 60 and she retires? Will she be able to go on your plan from work, or do we have to pay for her separately?
No, she's going to go on my plan, but the cost goes up to $1,400.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? That's the cost, right?
Yep.
All right. And do you think your wife would work part-time during, from, let's call it 60 to 70 or not?
She'll definitely work at something. I don't know if she'll get to 70, maybe 65.
Okay. Right now, when she is contributing to retirement in her plan, is she using a Roth or is she using a traditional plan?
She's using Roth.
Okay, great. Do you feel like you guys can live pretty well? I mean, it's not 100%, but are you doing okay between her income and her bonus and your little extra money? Can you live on that, or you need to pull a little extra money out?
We'll probably pull a little extra money out.
Maybe like 10 or 20 grand a year?
I was thinking a little more than that.
How much?
Like 80.
80? What are you talking about? You just told me you have expenses of 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
Well, what happened? I just have, wait a second. You're screwing with me, man. I'll tell you that right now. I just did the math here. Tell me where the extra 80. What's the 80 part of that?
I was figuring to keep the same lifestyle that we have now is just to take whatever my salary was before.
No. Because then you're going to pull too much money out of your investments too early. You're too young to do that. So here's what I think. You got 130 grand in cash, right?
Yes.
You've got this $2.1 million in your 401k. You've got the brokerage. You've got the Roth. So ideally, what you're going to do is, your income is lower. You need to pull money somewhere. I mean, there's a couple of choices. You could conceivably, when you turn 59 and a half, start pulling money out of the 401k. No problem with doing that, by the way, and pay the tax that's due. You're in a lower bracket at the time and start pulling money out. But I don't think it's wise to take much more, considering what you've just told me, than, 40, 50 grand a year out of your pot of money. And by the way, I'm not so sure your wife has to put money into her retirement account at this point. I'm almost considering just like using that money to live on rather than, you can pay the tax that's due. You're not in a high tax bracket anymore. You're really not. And you can delay taking the pension, or you can take the pension, like you said, at age 60. But until that time, I wouldn't start plowing through this money. Now, this changes with one big idea. You ready?
Yep.
If you sold the house and you moved to somewhere cheaper, you can do more than the 40 or 50. You really could. You're young, man. I mean, I consider myself young. We're about the same age. And you got a long life ahead of you. You're going to have great income. There's no doubt about it. So there's some phases here. 57 to 60, right, when you turn your pension on, and when your wife, right? So between now and 60, you guys should be stockpiling cash. I don't think I'd even put money into her retirement account anymore. You're going to hate that because it's going to, you feel weird, but I think it's better to just take the money and live on the money. And then from 60 to 7, so it's like 60 to 6, so it's almost 4 phases, 57 to 60, then she retires, then 60 to 65, that period of time where you'll have the pension up until you get Medicare, right? 65. And then 65 to 70 is sort of another phase. And then over 70. It's weird. Like once you get to 70, you guys are golden.
Yes.
It's amazing. You
That
just
I
have to make
definitely
sure you
agree.
don't plow through all of your money between now and then, 13 years, you know, and not spending too much money on the kids and not doing a little bit, you know, keeping the expenses. If you could do instead of 10 a month, 9 a month, 8 a month, something like that, that's even better. But I'm just saying that if you spend too much money early in your retirement, you really would put yourself at risk. And I don't want to see you guys do that because you're in good shape.
Okay.
All right, John, thank you so much for joining us. Keep us posted. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care. If you would like to join us, all you need to do is go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Mark will do everything else. If you check that little box that says you want to come on live, you can subscribe to this show on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And of course, try to do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.